What is going on, Slay Babes? It's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, let's address the elephant in the room. I did color my hair. Well, I didn't color my hairdresser colored my hair, and I am in it to win it. I really love the way it came out. I was blonde like a few years ago, but I was like, way too blonde. So we decided to do a really pretty caramel balayage that really complements the dark pieces I already have going on. And like I said, I'm in it to win it. I really love the way it came out. Let me know what you guys think down below. But besides that, I do want to get into the topic of today's video. I will be doing a full face of favorites. These are products that I've been using a lot on camera, and some products are going to be items that I've been using a lot off camera. So it's going to be a really good mix of both. I'm really stoked to get into it. So if you guys have not yet subscribed, make sure you guys do so. What are you doing? Also, click that bell so that way YouTube will notify you whenever I upload, which is every Monday and Wednesday. With that, I'm gonna zoom you in super up close and personal. I'm breaking out, so don't be alarmed. And let's get into the look. Let's go. Cool, so let's just jump right into it. My brows are done. I did fill them in a lot darker than what I normally do. I'm throwing it back a little bit. I'm not too mad at it. I'm actually really feeling the vibe. I also already moisturized and prepped my skin. I do want to quickly go over the products that I use because these are holy grail products that I love and I cannot stop using. First and foremost, Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I have not yet put this on. What you guys see on my skin right now is the Elta MD UV Elements Broad Spectrum SPF 44 sunscreen. This is a tinted sunscreen. I feel like a broken record at this point. I always talk about this. I always promo this. I buy it over on Amazon if you guys want to check that out. I'm now going to go in with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This is actually pretty expensive, but I honestly can justify the splurge because it makes my skin look so amazing. And it really does a good job of prepping my skin before foundation. So I'm going to put this all over. I also want to know that I'm breaking out so bad all around like my mouth here, mainly because like when you go out now, you obviously have to wear a mask. And the other day I was wearing a mask for a long period of time because I was out pretty much all day. And I feel like when I wear the mask, it really just breaks out my face. Am I the only one? Does that happen to you guys? Let me know down below. Also, can we talk about my nails really quick? I did them myself this morning. I got inspired by like rose quartz and I added like the gold foils and stuff. I know like the actual nail may not be like perfect, but I really love the way that they came out. And yes, I'm still doing my nails at home because I don't know, I'm just like, nail salon, someone in my face like super close, not really into that.
I know that's right.
I am going to go in with two primers. I know, super sketch, but you guys know this one. This is the e.l.f. Dew Primer. It recently came back in stock, so you guys are definitely going to want to go snag this up, pick this up. I'm going to put this all over. I'm really going to focus it like in the center of my face here and also like on my cheeks and especially over like these blemishes and stuff because I really want my foundation to stick to those areas because if my foundation wears off, where I have blemishes, it is not going to be pretty.
That's how it works with us freaks.
I really love this primer because it's very tacky, so I feel like whatever I put on top of it is really going to stick and adhere to it for a long period of time. I'm also going to go in with an additional primer. I know, super extra, but I've been loving this primer right here by Too Faced. This is the Primed and Poreless Pore Banishing and Blurring Face Primer. I use this in a first impressions video, and I also use like a new foundation, and it really just didn't work out all that well, but I have been using this a lot off camera. For me personally, I do live in Florida, so I do get pretty oily in my T-zone, and for me personally, I really want this area to stay significantly matte throughout the day, so I like to take a little bit of this. Also, the packaging is super cute. This is kind of like in the shape of a heart. No, it's definitely in the shape of a heart. I do like to take a little bit of this primer and I'll put it right here in the center, and you can see immediately the area where I put that primer, my skin is mattified like no other. Now I will definitely say when using this primer, you're definitely going to want to use something that is a little bit more luminous on the skin simply because it mattifies like nobody's business. So don't go in with a super matte foundation, otherwise things will get very tricky. I do like to just concentrate the majority of this primer in the center of my T-zone. For eyeshadow today, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do, but while I think about it, I am going to prime my eyelids with the P. Louise base. This is in base 2. I really love this for muting out my eyelids and really prepping my eyes for eyeshadow application. I'm going to take it on a fluffy brush like this, and I'm just going to pat it all over my eyelid. Okay, so now that my lids are nice and primed, I'm gonna move on to eyeshadow application. Now, a palette I have not been able to stop using off camera is this one right here that Jackie Aina created in collaboration with Anastasia. You guys know how I feel about ABH eyeshadows. I really, really love them. And I really love the color story within this palette right here. Now, I have been using very specific shades. I've been using mainly Ginger, Credit, and I've also been using the shade right down here called Glam. So that's kind of the vibe I'm going to go for in today's video. If you guys want to see a different look using this palette, I will have my original review video on this palette listed up on the screen because I did use the green within this palette. Anyways, the first shade I'm going to take from within the palette is called Ginger right here. I'm going to take it on a clean M441. You guys know this is like my favorite blending brush of all time. I am going to just take it and rock it back and forth in the socket to act as my transitional shade. Now, another thing I've been doing is I've been taking a little bit of face powder. Sorry, I should have been prepared. I like to take a little bit of face powder and mix it in with that shade called Ginger just to kind of tone it down a little bit, and just so that way it doesn't tug on that eyeshadow base, because I did not set it with a bone colored shadow. So mixing it in with a face powder kind of dilutes the shadow and the pigment a little bit and makes it a lot softer. So that way you can use it in two ways. You can use it as a really light transitional shade, and then you can go in with a little bit more ginger and really build it up in the crease. So that's kind of what I like to do if I don't have like an in-between shade to go in with first. How have you guys been doing though? I feel like I haven't filmed in a little minute because I took maybe about a week or so off. I also had a bunch of videos planned that I postponed after everything with George Floyd happened. It is a very, very tragic situation, and I feel like the justice system really failed us in this case. All the protesting that's been happening, I really just wanted to take a break so that way it didn't appear as though I was being deaf-toned, and I really wanted to take a break to help amplify the melanated voices in our community and just leave more space for them on the feed. But I'm really glad to be back. It feels really good to be back. I want to know how you guys are doing. How are things affecting you? Like, how are you feeling? Let's have a conversation about it down below in the comments. But anyways, I'm going to go in with my next shade. I'm going to go in with the shade called Ginger again. Like I said, I do kind of like to use it in two different ways. I like to use it as a very, very soft transitional shade, and then I'll go in with more of a concentrated brush. This is a Morphe M505. I'm going to lightly start packing it here in the outer V. I'm also going to really concentrate it here in the crease to define it out a little bit more. Now, this next step I'm going to do is something I probably should have done at the start of the video, but I'm going to take the e.l.f. Cosmetics Line and Define eye tapes. I just picked up a restock of these. I'm going to take about one, cut it in half, and use it right here to really just sharpen up my eyeshadow. Now, again, I probably should have did this at the start of the video, but I'm glad I'm doing it now. I'm going to cut it right down the middle, and I'm going to use one for the left side, one for the right side. This is something that you definitely don't have to do, but something I've been really liking to do just because I feel like it really helps in the end. I don't have to clean up as much fallout, so these come in handy. Okay, so now that I have my tapes down, I'm gonna take this a step further, and I'm really going to intensify this outer V. I'm gonna switch brushes to an M514. By the way, if you guys are ever curious as to which brushes I'm using in the video, like if I don't call them out, I will have them listed down below because I know a lot of you are interested in the specific brushes that I use, because I feel like tools are really what can make or break a look as well. So I'm taking the shade called Ginger. By the way, I have not switched colors. I'm really just focusing I'm really just focusing this color in the outer V just so that way it looks a little bit deeper. Oh my god, I used to do my makeup like this so long ago, like super intense. I don't know what happened. Actually, I do know what happened. Soft Glam happened. But I'm glad I'm kind of like doing my makeup like this every so often, especially like if I'm going out somewhere, because we can go out now. Holla, how many of you have gone to get your hair done? Clearly I have. Pedicure, nails. Let me know down below. The next shade I'm gonna go in with is a shade right here called Credit, and I'm gonna go in with the same brush, the M514, and I'm really gonna blow this out. I'm gonna go in with a little bit at a time though. I'm really gonna focus this right here in the outer V, and again, I'm blowing it out. I wanna go in big circular motions, so that way this is soft and diffused, but it also brings in that dimension that we're looking for. Now, I know I could use literally any neutral palette because today's look is definitely gonna be neutral, but there's something so incredibly special about this shade right here called Zam. Like, I love it so much. The way the light hits it.
Wow, how foily are you, Christina?
This actually isn't something that I do often anymore, but I am going to use a little bit of concealer to cut my crease. I'm going to use Tarte Shape Tape. I recently started reaching for this again in my collection, and I'm really glad I started reaching for it because I know why I love it, and I can't believe I stopped using it. I'm going to use this to really carve out a little bit of lid space. I'm going to use a flat brush, and I'm just going to start stamping right in this area. I find that this is the easiest way for me personally to cut my crease, like just stamping it as opposed to dragging it. Definitely try it out and let me know how that works for you guys. Now that I have that down, I am going to take a clean brush. This is a clean M433. And I'm just gonna lightly soften up these edges right here, just so that way everything blends. So like I said, I definitely want to use this color right here called Zam all over my lid. But the thing about this shade is that if I don't go in with some kind of glitter adhesive, it kind of just crumbles all over my eyelashes. So I do like to go in with the Anastasia glitter adhesive. I like to take some on the back of my hand, and then with that same brush I use to cut my crease, I am going to slightly or just lightly tap it on top of the concealer. Then I'll go in with a little bit of that shade called Zam, and then just pat it onto the lid. This is really going to give me the same exact effect, except the shade isn't going to crumble all over my face or all over my eyelashes. Don't you hate when something's so pretty but it just doesn't work? Well, I found a way to make this shade work, and I have not been able to stop wearing it all over my lids because it is so pretty. I think Jackie did such an incredible job with this eyeshadow. I feel like it's very, very similar to the NARS like singles. These are the Power Chrome Loose Eye Pigments. I definitely feel like the shade within this palette is like spot on to these right here, which is great because it's in a palette form, so you kind of get like the best of both worlds. So anyways, let's move on. I do want to go in with some kind of flat definer brush. This is an ABH number 20. It has a flat definer on one side and then a spoolie on the other. I'm going to pick up some of that shade right there called Credit, and I'm going to start stamping it at the base of my lash line to kind of mimic liner. You guys know this is like my go-to. It's what I love to do when I want to wear liner, but I don't want to mess it up. Also gonna take this and create like a faux brown liner. Now that I have brown liner down, another thing I really like to do is go in with a little bit of black eyeliner. This here is the NYX Epic Wear Waterproof Eye and Body Liquid Eyeliner. This stuff is incredible. I love that it's a brush tip applicator. I've been using it nonstop since I originally started using it in one of my first impressions videos. I like to take this and I like to just start out with a black line and then just let it fade into the brown. I don't know, this has just been my vibe recently. Now that that's done, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of black eyeshadow. This is the Fenty Snap Shadow in the style 6. I really love this black within the palette. Also, I have been dying to actually use the palette to create like a look over on Instagram TV, so definitely stay tuned for that. I like to just take a little bit of black and then just fade into that brown. Now I'm just going to take a blending brush and then just really start to buff and fade the brown into the black, because I want a really, really nice gradient between the two. So that's about it for eyeshadow and eyeliner. I do want to pop on a pair of falsies. I'm going to put these on right here by Lily Lashes. These are in the style Mykonos. Are they? They could be. I'm going to put these on really quickly because I think they'll really complement this look. They look very pretty, fluffy, and flirty. And even though they don't flare out towards the end, I feel like this look calls for a super dramatic pair of falsies. So let me pop these on off camera, clean up the fallout, and then I will be right back. Now that I have my lashes on, I'm going to move on to going in with a little bit of eye cream underneath my eyes. I've been using the Bright Eyes by Glam Glow every single day. I hit pan. Would you say that with the skincare product? I hit bottom. As you can see, I use quite a bit of it, and I really like to use this right before I go in with like my under eye products and stuff like that, because I feel like it really hydrates my under eye area and it really changes the way my concealer lays underneath my eyes. It doesn't crease as much and it doesn't look as dry. I definitely recommend trying this method at home, and if you guys have tried it, let me know if you see any differences with how your concealer looks underneath the eyes. Let's move on to color corrector. Now, a color corrector I've been obsessed with is this one right here by LA Girl. I've been reaching for this one a lot. I stopped using it quite some time ago, but I recently found it again in my collection, and I can't believe I stopped using it because I feel like a little bit of this stuff goes a very long way. And because I do struggle with like blemishes and stuff, as you can see, I have quite a bit right here on my chin area. I also like to take this over top of those blemishes. I know some are red, some are dark, some are blue, some are purple, but I do like to take the extra step of covering up this area because it makes a world of a difference when I apply foundation. I'm going to take that Pro Concealer brush and I'm going to use this to just buff out this color corrector. Now, sometimes I feel like when I put on lashes and then start doing my base makeup, things get really, really messy. I feel like I get like concealer and stuff all in my eyelashes. I guess it doesn't help that my eyelashes are freaking huge, like so big. I should have waited, but they're already on now. No going back. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a loose powder. I've been obsessed with this one right here by the Creme Shop. I picked this up at Target and I did feature it in a first impressions video, and I have not been able to put it down. I guess one of the biggest things that I don't love about it is that it has a little stopper right here, so it's really hard for me to actually get product out, and it just comes off as being very messy if you ask me. I'm going to take this brush right here and I'm going to use it to set down this color corrector. I find that when I set it down, it really doesn't move when I started to put my concealer and foundation over top. I don't really want this to sift around simply because I want it to stay in the areas I put it. I put it in those areas for a reason, so that is one of the biggest reasons I like to go in with just a dusting, like a light dusting of loose powder. Let's actually move on to foundation. Now, I definitely have quite a few favorite foundations this month. My Hourglass one, the one from Kosas, the one from Catrice that I used in a previous video. Like, I've really been going back and forth between all of those foundations, but a foundation that is like my holy grail, one that I always reach for, especially like when I'm off camera, and something that I know is going to work every single time is this foundation right here by Too Faced. This is the Born This Way foundation. I've talked about it a ton on my channel. I have two shades here. I have light beige and warm beige simply because I did self tan maybe about 4 days ago. It definitely is wearing off at this point, but I'm going to try to make it work for the sake of today's video. I'm going to take a little bit of light beige and I'm just going to stamp it all over, and it is looking just a teeny tiny bit too dark, so I will mix in a lighter foundation. But I do want you guys to know that this is a foundation I've been wearing all the time. Like, love it so much. My self tan is wearing off. I will self tan tonight, so that way I can continue to use and love this foundation. If you guys have not tried it, what are you waiting for? It is literally incredible. I'm gonna take my e.l.f. sponge and I'm just gonna start blending this out. Oof. Do you guys see the coverage on this foundation? It definitely is medium to full-on coverage. I love the finish of it. It's not overly matte, but it's not newy. It's not dewy, so it falls right in the middle of like a satin. I know a lot of people are saying that this is a very, very luminous foundation, and I just don't find that to be the case. I feel like when I think luminous foundation, I think Hourglass Vanish Stick foundation. I think L'Oreal Pro Glow. Those are dewy, luminous foundations to me personally. So I'm just going to take this and really go the extra mile to buff and blend it out. I am going to take my earrings off because I feel like they are in the way. Don't mind my acne again. It's really giving me problems. I feel like my skin is the worst it's ever been, and it's funny because I was telling this to Babito and he was like, you always say that, like next time you get really bad acne, it's gonna top the last time and the last time and the last time. Maybe I'm being a little dramatic, but I do feel like it's pretty bad right now. I'm thinking I really want to go get a chemical peel because I feel like that really helps with like acne prone skin and really just toning it down. So we'll see if I can pre-film enough videos to get a chemical peel, because when you get a chemical peel, you literally cannot wear makeup for like an entire week. It's such an inconvenience, but it does wonders for my skin. So you can see just how incredible my skin looks with that Born This Way foundation. I will have it listed down below if you guys want to check it out. It has my stamp of approval. I'm also going to go in with an e.l.f. concealer. Now, I've been using the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer non-stop. I have a light beige and then I also have a light sand. I'm going to go in with a little bit of light beige, but what I love about this concealer is that it is so full coverage. A little bit of this stuff goes a very, very long way. I also find that I really don't need it to set like some of my other concealers for that 45 seconds because it dries so quickly. I probably need to let it set for maybe about, I don't know, 15 seconds instead of 45, and that's what I love about it. It really just gives me such a beautiful, flawless effect. I'm gonna go in with the Total Face Sponge, also by e.l.f., and I'm gonna use this to buff and blend out that concealer. I feel like in my last video I used light sand and that was just way too light for me. Light beige is more of a yellow toned concealer and it just suits my skin tone a little bit better. I am going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. This is my Holy Grail powder. I keep purchasing it time and time again. I like to take my sponge, roll it into the powder, and then I'll just use it to really set all the other areas of my face where I didn't put that loose powder. This is just slightly darker than my foundation, which I don't mind because I am essentially just putting it around the perimeter of my face. So it just creates a really nice gradient from my under eye to the rest of my face. For the sake of timing, I did finish off my lower lash line. Now I'm just going in with a little bit of bronzer. This one here is by e.l.f. This is Forever Sunkissed. And I'm taking it on this little contouring brush here by Sephora Collection. I'm just taking it right here on my forehead. I was gonna say temples, but forehead, just to give myself some color. I feel like this is a very warm tone bronzer, but I think that's why I love it so much. I feel like since we are going more into summer, it's gonna give you that I've been laying out in the sun all day kind of vibe. So Keep in mind I haven't gone in with any setting spray at all, so I look very, very powdery, but I do go in with setting spray after I apply or right before I apply my highlight, just so that way things kind of melt down and look a little bit more skin-like. So don't fret, don't be alarmed, it'll come together. Now for blush, I'm sure this comes to no surprise. I've been obsessed with the Almay blushes. These are the Healthy Hue blushes. I have 3 shades here. I have this one in the shade Pink Flush. I have, what is it, So Peachy. And then I have Nearly Nude. Now, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't reaching for Nearly Nude every single day. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and pop it onto my cheeks for a flush of color. All right, now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of setting spray. Again, I'm gonna use what I know and love, that is MAC Studio Fix Plus. I'm gonna put a little bit of brow gel in my brows. I've been using this one right here by Urban Decay, but you guys know I also love one from CoverGirl, but I ran out of that one, so I've been reaching for this one every single day. And the reason I like to go in with brow gel towards the very end of the video is because, again, the whole powdery situation, I feel like my eyebrows become very, very ashy, very powder-like. So I like to bring them back to life at the end with setting spray and a little bit of brow gel. All right, so for highlight, this one definitely steals the show. I've been using this nonstop. This is the Turn Up the Light Complexion Enhancing Highlighting Palette in the shade Medium. I love the soft focus shade right here, just because I don't feel like it really accentuates texture for me. I'm gonna take just a little here. Actually, my face feels a little wet, so before I do that, I need to make sure I'm not gonna fuck up my face, so hold on. We don't work too hard to mess it up. Back to our scheduled programming. Let's talk about lip products. Now, I definitely feel like I'm cheating a little bit because I haven't had these lip products all that long, and I'm talking about these right here by Fenty. These are brand spanking new. I've been using them for maybe about a week to 2 weeks. I have this one here. This one is called Glaze, and then the other one is in my purse, but I'll have the shade name right up here on the screen. I'm gonna use a Glaze for the sake of today's video, but I love them both. They're the nudes within the shade range. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of lip liner. This is KKW lip liner in 2. You guys know I'm obsessed with this, and I say a little bit because I don't want my lip color to be like brown, but I still want to line my lips, so I'm gonna go in with just a light hand using this. Now I'm gonna go in with the shade called Glaze by Fenty. So good. You guys definitely need to pick these up. I definitely feel like the formula is more of like a cross mix between like a high shine lip gloss and a lipstick, but very, very glossy, very moisturizing, just like everything you would want in a lip product. And that is pretty much it, Slay Baes. This right here is the final and completed look using a full face of my current favorite products. Keep in mind, this isn't a first impressions by any means. These are products that I know, love, and would recommend a million times over. These are products that I'm always reaching for when I want a foolproof look with products that are gonna work for me every single time. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys wanna see more videos just like this, let me know down below in the comments. And with that, I don't have much else to say except I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces. Paint my nails. What do you think of my nails? Oh, I just did my nails. Okay. First timer, first time doing nail art. Holler at your girl. Don't really, but that's it, guys. I love you. Goodbye.